Patanjali has defined the first two steps of yoga and has given the details of the first two steps and also the changes that take place in a disciple when he follows the first two steps. By the practice of the total surrender, we will be able to experience what samadhi is. And then he goes to explain us about asana, the third step in yoga. The definition of asana is stability and ease. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is defined like this. Which asana can give us this aspect? He has not specified any asana here. So, many commentators have given many asanas. Some said Patanjali means Padmasana. Some say it is Siddhasana. And some people say that by doing the asanas like Sarvangasana, Sirshasana, etc., then one will be finishing the third aspect. And he will get stability in his posture of sitting. That is what they say. If one can continue in the same posture without any difficulty, then he has got a mastery over his asana and it is stability. This is what the commentators said. Stability is not physical, it is something mental. If a corpse is not moving, we can't say that it is stable. So here, Patanjali meant something different from what we call asanas. Asanas are different from asana. This is plural. What Patanjali says and what Bhagavad Gita says is only one single asana. It is establishing or creating stability and ease to the I am inside. It is not to the legs or head or hands. So, the third step in Patanjali's yoga has nothing to do with what we say asanas in the Hatha Yoga. The asanas in the Hatha Yoga should be selected according to our physical condition. An expert should advise you to select 3, 4 or 5 physical asanas to do daily. And it helps you to have vigorous blood circulation and rectifying the physical health. But here, asana is something internal and not external. Here starts what we have explained yesterday. The process of uttering the sacred word Om and the process of making a total surrender to the Lord inside involves asana, pranayama, pratyahara. These three steps are included in the process of uttering the sacred name of the Lord. So asana is the first step in trying to utter the name of the Lord. I told you yesterday we have to select a place and sit down calmly. See if every nerve and muscle is relaxed of its tension. And then begin to observe the movements of your respiration. This is what Patanjali explains as asana. Here the word asana means sitting. You should find a comfortable place to sit inside yourself. That is what Patanjali defines and what Bhagavad Gita defines. Many times we are not comfortably sitting in our body because we are creating many nonsensical things mentally, having the many worries and anxieties in the mind, many problems in the daily routine, many emotions and beastly instincts that are torturing us. Even though there is a comfortable seat for us to sit here, we are not able to sit there in a stable manner. Sometimes we are wandering here, and when the headache is there, sometimes we are here, and sometimes we are here when the arthros is there. Sometimes we are here when there is lumbago. Sometimes we are existing in the knees, like that. We are existing in all sorts of awful postures and poses in our body, though we have a comfortable seat here. Sometimes while I am here, I will be sitting outside this hall. My body will be here. My mouth will be speaking of Patanjali Yoga, but I will be waiting outside because I have beautiful pair of new shoes which I left there. Like this, sometimes we are physically living here, mentally living in Brussels or in Paris or in India because my wife is in India. Like this, we are wandering here and there like dogs and birds. Sometimes we are there in the bank because we have money there. And sometimes we are in the pocket because we have bank book in the pocket. Patanjali wants us to find out our original seat. See how comfortable it is, and see how the cushion is shock proof. First of all, take your seat there and find out how comfortable it is. Sit down in a comfortable posture physically, close your eyes, and then observe, relax every muscle and nerve without having any tension. And then begin to observe the movements of your respiration. Now you are already in asana according to Patanjali and Bhagavad Gita. So don't confuse the asana of Patanjali with the asanas of other yoga textbooks. In the 47th aphorism of second chapter, the aphorism runs like this: remove the tension from the mind and remove the tension from all the parts of the body. Then you will have asana to some extent, and then think of the boundless space. Then your mind begins to disappear. This is asana to some extent. And then begin to observe the movements of your respiration. Now the asana process is complete. So there are 3 steps in asana process. One step is remove the tension from all muscles and nerves mentally. Automatically the tension in the mind is released. And then think of the boundless space. For a moment, have the idea that space has no boundaries. And all the worlds and all the solar systems are in space. And all the galaxies are in space. And still space is vast and boundless. And think that you are placed in boundless space. That's the second step. The third step, begin to observe the movements of your respiration. And then you are automatically above and beyond the pairs of opposites, what are called polarities. They are there in us existing. For example, to like one person, and to dislike another person. Automatically they are there in us. I like my Guruji very much, but I don't like the horrible fellows who are with him. This is what is called polarity. That means you are insulting your Guru grossly. And our response to light and darkness, cold and heat, comfort and discomfort. People go to holy pilgrimages with all devotion to the Lord, and they search and search for a very comfortable and luxurious restaurant. And when the restaurant is not comfortable, they will be talking only of the difficulties in their restaurant, even while paying a visit to the holy place. Going there in the sanctuary in the middle of the church and kneeling there and speaking that this restaurant is horrible. What for we have gone there for pilgrimage? There was a 7 days session of yoga classes at a place in Occident. It was advertised 1 year before to apply for your rooms and your food. And one gentleman has written a letter. We want 2 rooms side by side because it is winter. Myself and my wife should have rooms side by side. Otherwise, it will not be comfortable to us. For what purpose? To attend yoga session for 7 days. So, they will be bothering about their restaurant and meals and drink. And there is a good whiskey found there in the restaurant. They feel all the more comfortable and more holy than when they see God. Because we found here a very rare type of, so we should try to be above polarity. Very, very difficult. Because the mind polarizes either to one pole or the other. It cannot be in the middle. Always it wants to see something when we are hearing. We want to hear something, but the mind wants to see. When we are seeing, the mind wants to eat something. As long as the yoga seminary is going on, all through the 7 days, a disciple was there chewing something all through the day. Because he is interested in the taste of the thing chewing, the sweetness of the thing chewing. The mind will polarize either to the North Pole or to the South Pole, and it is very difficult to find stability in the equator. Patanjali says, by practicing asana, you will cross the difficulty of polarities with less difficulty, and you will reach your own equator of consciousness, from which you will not move this side or that side, and you will be established in poise. This is the first thing that occurs when you practice asana. That is what he says in 48th aphorism.